Sorry for the slight delay. Hello, students. My name is Terry Cannon. I am the instructor for this course. This video is intended to be an introduction to the class in this online format. So let's get started. It's important to watch the whole video, and then if you want to ask me questions, a great place is either right here under Ask the Professor or Student Communications to help one another. And then the third place would be emailing me at this address, tcannon@palomar.edu. Okay, I'm not going to read everything. I'm going to show you how to navigate your way through this course. This is CSIT 125, Computer Information Systems. It is intended to be an overview of the field of computer information systems, as well as spend some time in some case studies and also using Access and Excel. This class does have a lot of work. I would not consider it as hard as calculus by any means as far as level of difficulty, but there is a lot of material that we cover in this class. So be prepared to learn a lot while we're going along. All right, this is my home page. You can see that I have a link here. If you ever need assistance on any of the assignments, you may go to our labs where we have open lab and tutoring. You can see that right now it shows fall schedule, but it will be updated to show spring as well. So I have 3 documents listed here on the main page: welcome, syllabus, and course calendar. And then over here, I have 3 discussion boards: introduce yourself, ask the professor, and student communication. And then right underneath this is a chart of what you do every single week. This is probably the most important thing, because if I click on week 1, I will see everything that I need to get done, and it is all due by Monday morning at 6 a.m. So each week you can click and you will see everything listed. So week 2, you can see that I have, we'll go over the details when we get to that, but it's all listed right there. So let's start with a welcome message. Okay, I tell you that this is a course. It's a spring course. It meets from January 28th to May 25th. Every week we have due dates. All of your material that is due that week is due at 6 a.m. on Monday. And make it 6 a.m. rather than midnight, because many of you work in the middle of the night. But I typically work early in the morning, so I want it ready for me to grade. Okay? So that is you have weekly due dates. The required materials for this class are the textbook using MIS 10th edition. It would be best if you had the 10th edition, but if you had the 9th, they're very, very similar, and it would probably be fine. You absolutely need a student access code to My Lab and Mastering. Both of these can be bought at the bookstore, and I know that you have ability to find books elsewhere online. The My T-Lab access code can only be bought at the bookstore or directly from the publisher. If you find it anywhere else, like on Amazon or anywhere, it's probably a student access code that's already been used, and you will waste your money. I have no control over those or no ability to return. Just the publisher, the bookstore. You need a consistent internet connection, and we will be also going over Excel and Access in this course. You need a current version. You can get Office 365 while being a student here for free, or Office 216 are the 2 versions I am using. Obviously, get your materials, I said before, but get them right away. We have a due date on Monday. So you see that the course is open, and that's my welcome message. Okay, let's go over some basics of the syllabus. Again, I'm not going to read the whole thing, because this, I assume you guys can all read quite well. Okay, as you know, it's an online class. Typically, my office hours are by appointment, online using Zoom or email. I am strictly online this semester because I have actually quite a bit of load bank. So this is the only class I'm really teaching. So I'm on campus less than I normally am. It talks about what the course is about. It basically, this course talks about how computers do business. So computer information systems is ideal for students who like technology and they like business. They don't see themselves necessarily being the engineer, but they see themselves being the person between the engineer and the customer. And I honestly believe this field of CIS is going to grow bigger than it ever has in the next 20 years. So it's an exciting field for people who like to wear many hats. And this is an introduction to it. So we will cover the 12 chapters that are in your Using MIS textbook. Additionally, we will cover Excel for 4 or 5 weeks. We will cover Access for 4 or 5 weeks. And we will, at the end of the class, develop a web page using a tool like Weebly and create a web page. So there's quite a bit to cover. It talks about the objectives, the student learning outcomes. What's most important, I think, is to read the grading policy. Now, I know you work hard in this class, so I give you credit for all of your hard work. There is 30% of your grade is the homework you do each week in chapters 1 through 12 of Using MIS. 20% is on the written homework, 10% is on the discussion board. I will go over these. As well, in this course, you need to do case studies on Excel, Access, and the system development lifecycle. In order to get ready for these case studies, we first go over Excel using MyTLab and Mastering. Then we do the first case study. Then we go over Access, and we do the second case study. And then the web page tool is pretty easy to learn. We will go through the system development lifecycle, and you guys will create a case study on that. All the case studies will be team projects. Now, I am very aware that this is an online class, and many of you may go, wait a minute, how do we make teams? Today, more than ever, many people work virtually. In my typical week, I work 3 days at home, 2 days at college. Many people work 100% online and need to learn how to collaborate. So this is an important skill that we're seeing in industry that people need. Teamwork using technology. So we will practice that in this class. Likewise, rather than a midterm and final, there will be 4 exams. So we cover part 1, there's an exam, part 2, part 3, and part 4. Each of these exams are multiple choice. They are timed. You have 1 chance to take the test, and must be completed in the week that is assigned. So I give you guys many days because I know many of you are working or have families or do a lot of other things, and that's why you're taking online class. So I try to make it flexible for everyone. Okay, so again, review the grading policy, and that is how you will do well in this course. As I stated in my welcome letter, these are the required materials. The bookstore is the best place to purchase it. For each chapter in Using MIS, the assignments are the active review, and that is all in the back. I'm looking for my textbook. It's in the back of your textbook at the end of the chapter. You will see it's active review. There are about 5 questions, and each student is to answer each of those questions. Those answers should be at least 1 paragraph. My idea is you're going to learn the material, write it down in your own words, and you will be well prepared for the exam. Likewise, to enhance your understanding of the chapter, we will have discussion board. Now, the way discussion board works is under each chapter, I have several videos. You pick one that you want to watch, and then you comment on it. Again, the comment needs to be a paragraph with at least 3 sentences. Once you comment on your video, you will see all other students' comments, and you must comment on 2 more. So my goal really is that everybody watches 3 videos, but you watch 1 and reply to 2 for full credit. And the reply can't be, good job, like what you say. That doesn't work. It needs to be something meaningful that you noticed about both their video and what they said. Okay, so that's discussion board. Again, these 2 assignments are 30% of your grade. They're due on a weekly basis. Okay? Then you will be covering Access and Excel using MyTLab. I will go over that when we get to MyTLab. The most important part, because it is a really great piece of software, but sometimes there's errors and sometimes we don't do it exactly the way the software does it. So if you earn 80% or above on every assignment, you will get full credit for the application. So Excel is worth 10% or 100 points, and likewise with Access. While you're in my IT lab, if your score is 80% or above, when I transfer those grades back to Canvas, you will get 100 points or a percentage of it of what you complete. Okay, and the last, well, two more things you have to do. We have case studies. I will explain them when we get to them. They are team projects. We get to pick our teams, or I help you pick the teams. We do a combination. I'm not going to go over the case studies today. They happen throughout the semester. There's one on Excel, one on Access, and one on a web page. The idea is, instead of giving you bullet by bullet what you do, you see a problem and you have to solve it. Okay, for exams. Time management, one of the things we learn in college. Late assignments. I will not accept anything more than 1 week late. You will not get any lost points for the first time, but after that, that's it. So one time you're busy, I understand. If you are not participating in the class for a 2-week period, you can be dropped from the course. Okay? This again keeps you from trying to catch up late. You have to work weekly in this course. Also, pay attention to student contact, academic integrity. I can tell when people are not doing their own work, and it will be addressed. And likewise, if you have any disability accommodations, please email me, email DSPS, and let me know, and I'm happy to work with you. Okay, so that's the syllabus. I assume you're going to read it in more detail, but that's what it looks like overall. Okay, the calendar. I do not use the calendar system in Canvas. I simply have a document that you refer to as well. The course contents is broke up by week. So that is the way I implement my calendar. So here is your calendar. You can see that the first week of class, you must complete Chapter 1 in the importance of MIS and Chapter 1 in Excel. Week 2, same format. Week 3, you have 2 chapters in Excel, and then on the 4th week, you have an exam, and so on. You can see, I noticed that I told you the exams would be open for a period of time. That is to allow flexibility for all students. So the flow of the course is each week you're going to do something in your using MIS book and something in my IT lab. You'll do Excel for 5 weeks, then you get your first case study. You have 2 weeks to do the case study. Then we will do Access for 4 weeks, 2 weeks for that case study. Then we learn about the system development lifecycle, and we have our last one. So that is the layout exactly of the due date of the courses. It's a lot, and it's exciting, and I've had students change majors because they realize how much opportunity there is in this field. Okay, I have 3 discussion boards right here. The first one, you must post to by Friday at 8 a.m. This is so that I know you have access to the course. It's an online environment. I haven't met everybody face to face. So you'll see on the discussion board, it says introduce yourself. It's important that it's by 8 a.m. You will be dropped. If not, that's the way I can get your attention. All I need you to do is introduce yourself. Let me know that you have access to the course. So I did it myself. My name is Terry Cannon. I've studied computer science. I've studied networking. Recently, I got a master's in management information systems. I've taken tons of other courses along the way. I'm a lifelong learner. And most importantly, I want to tell you about my new degree I wrote. It's CIS Data Analytics. It is one of the biggest growing fields there is to it. They actually think data science and analytics is going to be bigger than computer science. I teach because I love to. This is an all-online class, and I love my family. I have 3 great kids, and I love sailing. I sail offshore a lot, and in harbors, and I play in the water. And good luck in this class. So that's my introduction. Everybody does very similar. I have 2 other discussion boards because sometimes many students want to ask the same question. So if I see it in an email or I see it on Ask the Professor, I'll answer it and everybody can look at the answer. So if you have a question, general question about the management of the class, post to Ask the Professor. I check it once a day, Monday through Friday. Student communication, that's if someone has some tips or hints and they want to talk to another student, this is where you do that. These are not graded. And I only monitor Ask the Professor and introduce yourselves. Okay. What else do we need to cover? As I mentioned, you can see it in the calendar what is due the first week, and you can go here to see is what's due. So let's look at week 1. Oops, I am going to remove this right now. That's a different way of doing the discussion board to see if you're a student. Okay, so for the first chapter of the importance of MIS, you have these 2 assignments. And then this is the assignment you have in my IT lab. So how do you learn all this information? Well, first off, I have to update this a little bit, I see. There is a PowerPoint to show you the information. As well, you are to read the book. So you need to get the book right away or get access to it. Or go to the library this week and read it and get it next week. That's fine, but you need to get access to the book this week. I have several videos. I mentioned the discussion board. In this chapter, I have a few. In further on chapters, I have more. Basically, watch one of these videos. And then once you've watched one of these videos, you post to the discussion board. So I am going to go back to week 1. And you will see that under MIS, the importance of MIS is all of the materials to help you learn. Just like I told you some of the later chapters, there's more like social media information systems. I have a lot of videos about that because it's kind of an exciting topic. If you get down to business intelligence, another really interesting topic, you will see I have many videos. You are not required to watch them all. For the assignment, you watch one and post about it in your video discussion. Okay. The active review are the questions that are in the back of the chapter. You are to answer each one in a meaningful way. You don't have to retype the question. You can either type it or handwrite it. If you handwrite it, take a picture of it and scan it. I actually believe students often learn more by handwriting. I know I learn more by writing these. Okay, so those are the 2 things to do for the first chapter. And for my lab and mastering, you will find that right here. So let's go over there and look at that. Okay, so what about if you're waiting for financial aid and you don't have the ability to buy your books this week? You have 2 weeks. There is a book on reserve at the library, so you can find the first chapter there. As well, my lab and mastering allows a 2-week trial. So my system is already connected because I've already set up the class. But when you get here, it will say get started. And once you say get started, this is where you will enter the student access code that you purchased. You may purchase it 2 ways, at the bookstore or from the publisher. If you have not purchased it yet, on the bottom of the screen, I don't remember exactly where it is, I think it's the bottom left, you will see trial version. If you click on trial version, you're allowed a free 2-week trial. You must convert by the end of 2 weeks. That way everybody can literally get started today. So let's look at what you need to do. In my lab and mastering, I always go to course materials. Come on, course materials. Yes, I have a few things so My IT lab, or my lab IT, is a little slow the first 2 weeks of the semester because everybody's enrolling in the system, so you can pull it apart. And you'll understand more about this as you take this class. Okay, the e-textbook is available here, so you don't need to purchase textbooks. If you would like a paper book of this, I tried to make it the most cost-effective for all students. So the ebook is available right here, you can see. And you can also see that you can purchase a print upgrade. So it's up to you. If you want a printed book, you can do that. But if you want to just use the ebook, you can do that, or you can just use the My IT Lab tool. Now, typically when you're in My IT Lab, if things don't function right, look right up here, you will see that there's pop-up blocks. Allow them, and then it will work. That's an important thing to remember. Okay, also use their breadcrumbs back, not the big ones up here. So, Excel, first week, what do you have to do? If you go into Excel, you go into chapter 1, because that's what I said was assigned. I have all these chapters in here. You paid for them, so I gave you more. But we're doing 1 through 5. So this week is chapter 1. Everything, the way I set it up is everything that's assigned has this little checkbox. So the simulation training is intended for learning. The grader project you must actually do in the Excel application. So let's look at the simulation briefly. Wish I had it blocked. If it wasn't working, again, you would see something up at the top and you have to unblock it. This is a simulation. It can be done in any environment, Mac, PC, not iPad. You need a full computer. So over here, it tells you what to do, and then over here, you're supposed to do it. Notice that you can save, you can submit, you can do this any number of times. If you don't understand what to do, here are the learning aids. I really like these. This one, you read it. This one is a video. My favorite is the practice because it makes you do it. And it tells you did it yourself, right? Okay, this is a simple problem, so it was easy to show you. And then you don't get credit, then you have to do it by yourself. If, okay, in this whole system, there's maybe 2 or 3 errors, but if for some reason you're doing it and it gets marked wrong, and you know you did it right, don't worry about it too much. You can go like this next. To move to the next question, it updates the document for you. Of course, you don't get credit, but that's why 80% is enough. And you see that? I can save. I can go back to it later. I've got to work through the whole thing. It shows that I'm in progress. Once I have completed that, that's the idea of learning it. It also matches the ebook exactly, page per page skill of what you're doing. So you could read the book or you could look at the ebook on another monitor and use the two together to learn the skills. Once you're done with the skills, you've got to do the grader project. For the grader project, you download all the materials. I would say download all files. One is the instructions, and the other is the start of the assignment. So you'll see that in the instructions, it tells you exactly what to do and how many points each are worth. Okay? And then, so I would probably print those out and have them next to me because I still love printing. And then you will open this and you will complete it in this document. Now what's interesting about My Lab and Mastering is all of these documents have integrity flags in them. So if I were to complete it and give it to my friends, you'd all be marked that you did the same work on the same Excel file. So, and as well as there's other integrity flags. So everybody must do their own work. You start it, you complete it, you save it, and then when you are done, you follow the instructional steps to finish the project, upload the file, submit for grading. And it grades it automatically for you. So, for each chapter, you have a simulation, you have a grader project. The grader project must be done in 365 or the current version of Office, 216. Oops, where did my screen go? Sorry about that. So, back to the beginning here. I basically covered what you need to get done in this class and the first week. I will cover the case studies when we get closer to it. You will see week 2 is the exact same format. Okay, all the learning material is right here. So the PowerPoint as well as all the videos. And then you have active review that's in the back of the book. Video discussion, watch one video, post, and then reply to 2 others. Oh, whoops, I should be down here. And then Excel chapter 2. Okay, that is all I'm going to say for this video. I'm going to turn on my monitor again so I can stop it. Please post to introduce yourself by Friday. Thank you very much for listening and great success in the class.